In 2008, college wrestling season kicks off with a flourish here in Eugene, Oregon. Some of the best college wrestlers in the nation set to go head-to-head in the annual All-Star Classic. All next on CSTV. Some of the nation's top college wrestling talent gathered in the Pacific Northwest. We're at MacArthur Court in Eugene, Oregon, set for the 42nd annual NWCA All-Star Classic presented by the United States Marine Corps. Hi there, Jayson here. Glad you could join us for NCAA Wrestling here on CSTV. What a great kickoff event over the years this has been. This year should be no different. We have the number 1 or number 2 ranked wrestler in the nation in each of the 10 weight classes, including 3 number 1 versus 2 matchups. Glad to have wrestling legend Ken Cherto along. And Ken, I know one of the top matches you're looking at, 149 pounds, Dustin Schlatter against his old nemesis from Michigan.
Oh, yeah, 2 great wrestlers, great wrestling families. They usually dominate their opponents, but in this match, they know each other. The key is going to be a good setup, clean finish. They're not going to get any easy takedowns to each other. There can be something slick and quick. Look for some explosive action in this match.
Josh Churella, Dustin Schlatter will go at it again, Minnesota and Michigan. Then at 184 pounds, Minnesota's Roger Kish, Jake Varner of Iowa State, and there's history there between those 2 wrestlers.
Oh, indeed there is, because last year, Kish handled Varner early on, and Varner is younger, and he kept coming on as the season progressed. He studied Kish well. He had good strategy at the NCAA tournament, and he crushed Kish's NCAA championship dream and won the NCAA title. Kish will be out for revenge. For him to beat Varner, he's got to set the tempo early and be aggressive. I'd look for him to do that and really come out aggressively.
We are set to get going with the first of the 10 bouts here in the NWCA All-Star Classic. At 125 pounds, Paul Donahoe, number 1 seed, currently number 1 in the nation, against 4th-ranked Jayson Ness of Minnesota, against the junior from Nebraska.
Wiry lightweights they are. It proves you don't have to be bulky to be a great wrestler. These guys are spindly and lanky strong. But Jayson, very deceptive. They grab a hold of you. They are both powerful and tough on top.
Donahoe in the red, the maroon of Ness, the Golden Gopher, 40-5 last year, 5th at the NCAAs. Donahoe came out of really nowhere to win the NCAA title. Upset Oklahoma's Sam Hayeswinkle in the final, 3-1 in sudden victory. And Hayeswinkle had dispatched him 12-3 in the Big 12 final just a few weeks before.
Yeah, again, Donahoe came well prepared. He kept it close in the semis with Nickerson and kept it close with Hayeswinkle in the finals and found a way to win. You know, both matches were very close. He got against Nickerson, he got a caution point in double overtime won. Against Hayeswinkle, he got a late takedown for the win. And a good strategy, smart wrestling. Videotape has truly revolutionized our sport. Wrestlers study each other. You got to really always bring your a little new twitch, something different each game. You got to mix it up a little bit. You can't be same old if you're going to win every time against the top-notch guys.
Working our way to the midway portion here of this first period. If you're new to college wrestling, first period 3 minutes long. The second and third periods 2 minutes in length each, and we'll explain the overtime rules if they apply, if we need them, and if history is any indicator, especially at the All-Star, we will need them at some point.
Good little scramble there. Neither one of these guys are really tenacious on their feet. They're pretty patient. They do a lot of pulling and tugging. Both of them are really good on top. Ness runs good half Nelsons. The basic moves that you learn in elementary school, in a half Nelson, he is super aggressive with it, very tenacious. He's got strong hands and forearms. Donahoe likes the legs. These guys, if they get on top of each other, they could give each other fits. It'll be interesting to see if either one can get a takedown here in the first period.
We mentioned Ness, 5th at the NCAAs, racked up 3 pins during the tournament, 15 of his 40 wins last year via the fall.
15 out of 40, very, very impressive statistic, very aggressive on top.
Ness comes in, a couple of wins. All-time against Donahoe, 11-5 in an open tournament last fall, and then 8-6 in a dual meet showdown last February.
Again, you know, records doesn't necessarily matter. They study each other. Anything could happen. My understanding is Nickerson throughout high school and college had defeated Donahoe over 10 times in the past 5 years, leading into that NCAA semifinal match. And Donahoe just came out with great strategy, great intensity. And like you said, in the Big 12 finals, Hazelwinkle dominated, and then 2 weeks later, Donahoe knocks off Hazelwinkle.
See referee Cody Olson in the center there as you get the look from the coaching staff in the boxes as they look on. Cody Olson, former Nebraska wrestler himself, officiating tonight. Certainly an honor for him to be involved as well. You see Donahoe, Michigan native, wrestling for the Cornhuskers, and got Ness in some trouble here.
Wow, spiral half. Nice maneuver. He's taking a little book out of Ness's notes. The spiral half, trying to crab ride. He's trying to get a quick till. He's almost got a count. You've got to hold him for 2 full seconds. You can't touch your hands there. The referee was looking for the full Nelson. You've got to hold him for a full 2 seconds to get back points at 45 degrees. Wow. Ness did a great job there, as did Donahoe. Donahoe, I'd like to see his aggressiveness. He went for the gusto. Instead of just stalling and riding, he went for back points. Boy, he came close twice, but Ness was able to free his hips and get a little bit of space and get out of there for a big escape.
Picks up the single point for the escape, so Ness turned the negative into a positive. Could have been down a couple of points. Instead, he's got the advantage.
Indeed, that was close. Gutsy move by Donahoe, though. I like seeing him going for it instead of just stalling and riding. He forced the crab once, then forced it again. And boy, he was close. You see, you were talking about it, referee Cody Olson. You saw his agility looking down there for the back points. Cody was quite an athlete in his day, very unorthodox, dominating. He was an NCAA finalist for Nebraska. He was very unorthodox on top. He had a side headlock, a very crafty wrestler. He's still moving good here as an official, keeping track of these lightweights.
And Donahoe, the first Husker here at the All-Star Classic since Jacob Klein in 2004. And Ness has some Golden Gopher company with him. He's one of 4 Minnesota wrestlers in the All-Star tonight. And of course, Golden Gophers reigning NCAA champs after they snapped Oklahoma State's 4-year stranglehold on the national team title.
15 seconds.
Indeed, it's interesting to see if Ness will be able to set the pace for his teammates. So far, wrestling solid, but not spectacular. He hasn't really committed too much on his shots. Donahoe's been the aggressor so far, both on his feet and on top. Ness has hit a few hard head snaps, but really hasn't committed on much.
Now Ness got the point for the escape. Here's another peek.
He's got the legs and he's stretching them out, going for the crab, but Ness was able to get his elbows in and elude Donahoe there. Donahoe never really got that crab going the second time. Now Ness is trying the same thing. Look at that. Donahoe's scrambling. He's got to get his hips free. And that's what Ness likes, the basic half. Donahoe's more of a legger with the leg and crab half. This is Ness's thing. You see how Donahoe's controlling that hand? He's doing well. He's pushing back. He's getting pressure back. This is a big battle right here. These 30 seconds are important. Donahoe knows it, too. You see him keep fighting. So far, Donahoe's done a wise job, and he finishes it off. He's almost out. He's got to break the lock. He's got to make Ness break the lock. I think that's going to be an escape right there.
Right at the edge of the circle, still some room to operate for both wrestlers.
Donahoe has to break that. Will be interesting. Wow, he couldn't break the lock. He should have popped his hips harder and been more aggressive there. He let Ness use his length to hold onto the leg and get a stalemate. So Donahoe's going to have to go back down, even though he was basically 99% out.
112 right now here, left to go in the third period.
Riding time coming into play, Jayson. If he can hold him down another 5 seconds, he's going to have riding time opportunity. Oh no, I take it back though, because of course Donahoe had built up some riding time too. So it's still going to be a while. There's no advantage, no point for riding time. Wow, if he could finish this, it's looking close. Ness is really tough to finish on. Donahoe's got a hip place to the head or hook a leg. Those are his 2 main options, hooking a leg or hip place. Ness is trying to pull him through. Donahoe's got to get his hips back. He's got to settle his right hip on the mat and get a leg hook. He's got to use his left leg to get it hooked. Ness is really staying tough. He's in danger. Oh, wow, the call.
And he gives the 2. The 2 picked up there by the Nebraska junior. Donahoe on top now, 3-1.
And a 2-point near fall for
And 2 more tack on for back points. So a 5-1 advantage here for Donahoe. It came into this third period in a 1-0 hole. Ness gets 1 for the escape, but it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Paul Donahoe working from behind and picking up the win here at the All-Star Classic. The reigning NCAA champ picks up where he left off last March with a win here at the event to kickstart the new season in November, the All-Star Classic. Paul Donahoe, 5-2 win over Minnesota's Jayson Ness at 125 pounds. 133-pound match coming up next. Minnesota versus Hofstra on CSTV.
It can be a little awkward when your friend tells you he's been diagnosed with a mental illness. But what's even more awkward is, if you're not there for him, he's less likely to recover.
I'm here to help, man, whatever it takes.
Hear that? Sounds like the best sports are back on CSTV. All the training finally pays off when another exciting season of college sports begins. Football.
And into the end zone for a touchdown.
Soccer.
Beautiful cross and a finish.
Volleyball.
With an absolute missile to win it.
Hockey.
Rebound and score!
And basketball. Get all your teams on all your screens with CSTV.
Of fencing and 3 years of law school teach you a lot. For him, it's confidence. For me, it's pride. Go to ncaa.student.org to find out how your child could become one of the many student athletes who go pro in something other than sports.
They wear the school colors for a few fleeting years, leave behind moments we'll always remember, and take with them the spirit to excel in all they do. That's why the NCAA corporate family provides scholarships, sponsors youth programs, and supports all 23 NCAA sports. They know that while the excitement of college sports is shown in moments, the value lasts a lifetime.
The 2007 NWCA All-Star Classic is presented by the United States Marine Corps. The United States Marines, the few, the proud, the Marines. Back here at Mack Court in Eugene, Oregon, set for the 133-pound bout here at the NWCA All-Star Classic, presented by the United States Marine Corps. Lou Ruggirello, sophomore from Hofstra, stepping in, 4th-ranked wrestler in the nation against number 2 Mack Reiter of Minnesota.
Jayson, like the last match, both of these wrestlers are very tough on top. Sometimes at the high levels of college wrestling, you see guys focus on their feet almost exclusively, but lately, more and more guys are getting nasty tough on top. Reiter packs mean cradles. Mack Reiter from Minnesota, great cradler. Louis Ruggirello, New Yorker from Hofstra, great with the arm bars. It'll be interesting to see if either of these guys can ride and turn each other. You saw in the last match, both guys go aggressively on top. They got close, but no cigar. We'll see if they can do something different in this one.
Reiter, two-time All-American. Last year, though, 2-2 at the NCAAs, coming all the way back from knee surgery. Really didn't get it going until the second half of the season. Ended up with an overall record of 14-4. And again, you mentioned his propensity for pins. 10 of those 14 wins by pin. And Ruggirello, 31-9 as a freshman. He's the Colonial Athletic Association champ and also Rookie of the Year in the conference.
Yeah, he had a phenomenal freshman year, came out strong, keeps getting bigger and stronger too. Coming back to Reiter, very courageous. He's like, whoa, nice throw by. Underhook throw by takedown, very impressive. And here's where he's good, Jayson, on the chicken wing arm bars. His father is his high school coach, his dad Lou, and their team is very good at chicken wing arm bars. He's going right for it. He is being aggressive. Reiter is going to have, it's not looking good for Mack Reiter. Oh, I don't know about that. That's called potentially dangerous. The Hofstra coach doesn't like it. Reiter's dad is liking that because his son just got off the hook of a mean chicken wing. Now this start is going to be critical here. Can Reiter get away quickly, or will Ruggirello bar him up again?
Ruggirello's been doing some damage already this season. Already pinned Missouri's Tyler McCormick in a dual meet this season. Racked up a tech fall at Penn State as well, so he's gotten out of the gate quickly here the new season.
As I said, aggressive on top. This is not where he wants to be, though. He's not as aggressive with legs. He's being forced into legs. He wants to be on top with bar arms. And Reiter caught his leg early. Ruggirello needs to get his hips up, maybe get a stalemate out of this situation, and that's exactly what he got, a stalemate. We're going to have a fresh start here. Again, it's so critical who gets the jump on the whistle. Mr. Reiter is worrying. He's like, my son better get out of here fast.
Out of Gilbertville, Iowa. And Jay Robinson able to break the Iowa stranglehold, get Reiter to come and wrestle for the Golden Gophers. It's paid off. Fourth at the NCAAs as a freshman and sophomore. Was former Big Ten Wrestler of the Year at the Big Ten tournament as a freshman, most outstanding performer in that event. And again, working his way back from the knee trouble of a year ago.
Yeah, very impressive. He could have redshirted last season, but he chose to wrestle for his team. He knew Minnesota had a chance to win the national title as a team, and instead of redshirting, is that correct? That is correct.
He did come back. He tore the ACL in the preseason, worked his way back, and again, as an NCAA qualifier, certainly racking up some points that Minnesota used to grab that team title.
Oh, he was helpful. And to be clear, he would have had to get a medical redshirt, which he was in position to do. He did redshirt early on, but he could have got a medical redshirt, and he chose to do it courageously for the team and had a good year, and as you said, contributed to that NCAA team title.
Right now, Ruggirello, though, is in position. 2-0 lead, some riding time as well.
Underhook throw by, goes for the little throw, gets behind him. Very nice job by Louis Ruggirello. You gotta love those throw bys. You know, he's forcing those legs and he's getting sloppy. He would have been better off sticking with his chicken wing armbar stuff that is his strength. And he's doing okay riding, but he's almost using as much energy holding on, and he's getting called for stalling on top. He's using as much energy on top, holding on, as Mack is trying to get away. Let's see if Ruggirello goes to more of a traditional chop and armbar type attack.
See early underway here in the second period. Ruggirello, though, does have 2 minutes and counting of riding time advantage to this point. So he's got that in his back pocket. Again, if you've got a minute or more of riding time at the end of a bout, it's worth a bonus point, and that will come into effect.
I told you that he was tough on top. I did expect him to stay more with the chicken wing, though. He's liable to get called for stalling if he's not careful. He's been warned already for stalling. He's being pretty aggressive now, but he's got to run the power half. He's got 2 legs in. He's got to stretch them out and run that power half. His hips are just a little too far over the top. And Reiter's got that foot. He's got to flip it off. Reiter's not exactly doing a great job on bottom. He's just laying there himself. Like, I'm not that impressed with Ruggirello on top for turn. He's getting his hips off. Now he's in good position. Now he's going to go to work. I'm more impressed with Reiter struggling, more thinking Reiter struggling on bottom here. See, that's what he should do. He's trying to do a swim out. You got a stalemate call, Jayson. Neither wrestler could improve their position.
So they'll break and go back to the middle in neutral position. Again, they'll give, Ruggirello will remain on top here. You see the fourth-ranked wrestler in this weight class from New York State. And Ruggirello goes right back at Reiter on top.
This is where Ruggirello wants to be. Breaking down with a tight-waisted chop. He's got to hope Olsen doesn't call stalling. Right now, I think Reiter's doing the stalling, just basing out. Reiter is struggling underneath there. There's the chicken wing armbar. Now look for him to shoot a half Nelson on the other side with his right arm. He's got it locked on. Bread and butter, mean, aggressive wrestling. I'm telling you, I've seen him grow up with this series. His father teaches it and pushes it. Their team is good at it. He's got the rebar now, the rebar tilt. He's reinforced it on the wrist. He's got to keep driving left. Short time left. Look for him to make one more effort. He lost the wrist. He's going to ride him out in a dominating second period.
Well, he rides him out the entire second period, plus what he racked up in the first period. He's got a monster advantage here in riding time. You can already lock up the bonus point for Ruggirello. So, in essence, he's leading 3-0. It won't be officially notated on the scoreboard, but certainly Jay Robinson, Minnesota head coach, and Mack Reiter as well understand that he's got to work from behind here.
Hey, there was a big conference between the periods there between Ruggirello and his coach, Tom Shiflett. Shiflett was thinking up. He was consulting him to take up because Reiter's really good at cradles, as we talked about. But Louis Ruggirello wanted down. He chose to go down. And boy, it paid off for him right there. He got away easily, stopped the cradle, limped his arm through, and got out of there. He's really looking to dominate now.
He picks up the point for the escape, making it 3-0. And again, he essentially has riding time locked up right now, so really it's 4-0 advantage.
Yeah, he had that left underhook again there. Now, both guys are good. Reiter's good upper body too with bear hugs and inside trips. Reiter, they're both going to lock up. So Ruggirello's challenging there. Ruggirello at this point in time could be a little conservative, but let's see if he goes for one more good takedown. He's got to be careful up there with Reiter though. The over-under position. I'll tell you what, I've wrestled with Louis a lot growing up in that position. He's solid in there, but not great. He doesn't want to be in there with Mack Reiter. He's better off snapping the head and staying in the open. There's Jay Robinson looking on. I'm sure he's not happy right now with Ness going down and now it looking like Reiter in deep danger. Reiter's looking a little tired too. It's not easy getting ridden for 2 minutes like that.
Jay Robinson, the Golden Gophers, winning their third national title since 2001 last year. He's looking on, and you're right, Ken. He is not going to be happy with what's transpired for the first two guys out of the chute, out of the 4 he has in the show tonight.
Yeah, and you can see Ruggirello wisely blocking off by staying on that position. But very exciting work. It's been neat to see. New Yorker, he comes around and wrestled with him at camps for years. His dad actually teaches that armbar series at wrestling camps, and he does such a good job with it. That was what wore out Reiter. Look at the left underhook. Wow, Ruggirello is really having a dominating match here. Mr. Reiter is not happy.
Ken, are you shocked with the amount of, or lack of offense from Reiter? We've normally seen him be an aggressive guy, and he really hasn't thrown much at Ruggirello.
This is better be careful right here. This is not where he wants to be. I told you he likes that trip. Ruggirello's backing off. He's got to be careful. He's gonna get it done. Good win for Louis Ruggirello. And was I disappointed in Reiter's lack of offense? I think it was more of an issue of Ruggirello came out more intensely, more physical on his feet, and definitely put the hammer down on top.
2 for the takedown before the gun. Add on the point for riding time. It's a 6-0 win for Lou Ruggirello. So Minnesota, the reigning national team champs, 0 for 2 out of the gate here at the All-Star Classic so far. Nebraska and now Hofstra get the wins at 125 and 133. And the Hofstra Pride have the chance to go back-to-back. Charles Griffin on the mat for the Pride at 141 against Oklahoma State's Nathan Morgan. That's next from Oregon.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks, They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
You don't think you can score in this time frame.
They don't want to foul here. 10 seconds left. Down by 2. The drive.
Can anybody get open for it? Shot there.
She fires one up. Anthony Atkinson has tied it up.
He'll roll right. Lets it go. And it goes in.
Good rebound. Gillespie at the buzzer.
4 seconds left. Melvin still away. Finds his guy. Touchdown. Scores in the final seconds.
BYU wins it. He's got time. Atkinson, layup. Good!
141 pounds next up here. The National Wrestling Coaches Association All-Star Classic, and another Hofstra Pride wrestler, Charles Griffin, number 2 of the nation at 141 against third-ranked Nathan Morgan of Oklahoma State.
Again, another Hofstra wrestler, Ruggirello's training partner. That's the Hofstra's advantage, to have 2 guys around the same weight training together all the time. Plus, when you travel across the country, it's nice to have somebody you're comfortable with, your buddy. Wow, nice snap by Morgan. Griffin, it's interesting. I've talked about top a lot. It seems to be a common theme here. Ness, really tough with the halves. Donahoe, tough with legs. Ruggirello, tough with bars. Well, Griffin, he likes the tilt. He's a 2-on-1 tilt man, a wrist roll man. If he gets a chance on top of Morgan, he'll be really dangerous. Morgan's no slouch on top himself. He's really good on top as well, with a variety of legs and tilts, but his strength's definitely on his feet. He's slick on his feet.
These guys met as freshmen in a dual meet, and Griffin was victorious, but that was probably eons ago for these guys as they've grown throughout their careers. Morgan, 2-time All-America, 3-time Big 12 champ, was 4th at the NCAAs last year, and Griffin, he's won 3 straight CAA titles and 3rd at the NCAAs last year.
Very sweet angle, nice angle. Griffin's got good hips, but boy, that was good technique by Morgan's part. He got the angle, he got up. He's got that tree trunk. Griffin's got strong legs. Nathan Morgan's executing great technique. Potentially dangerous, potentially got to finish clean, and he does with a limp bar. That's 2. That was an excellent execution by Nathan Morgan. He cut the corner, got the angle, kept driving. Even though Griffin's got big, powerful thighs, he was able to beat him with good technique on a head inside single. Very impressive work.
Here's another look at the first 2 of the match.
Look at this angle. He picks that ankle up. Some referees get scared here and call potentially dangerous. Morgan used the limp arm to get his arm out, got the angle, and closed the deal. Let's see what he goes to work with on top of it.
Griffin out of Reading, Pennsylvania, and Morgan grew up in Bakersfield, California. Comes to cowboy country at Oklahoma State. Griffin picks up a point for the escape to make it 2-1.
I remember when Griffin came onto the scene in Pennsylvania high schools, he was wrestling defending state champion Zach Haas, who ended up at Penn State, who's already a scholarship athlete signed at Penn State. And Griffin came out of nowhere, tilted him 2 or 3 times in the state finals, and dominated him. It was a really impressive performance, and that put him on the radar for the rest of his career. Nice angle again. He's got the angle and the ankle. You young wrestlers at home, pay attention. It's all about getting the angle. It's not over yet, though. It's not over. Griffin's still got a scramble situation. There's no control yet. Griffin uses the funk. Now he's going to have to keep improving his position, though. It's looking pretty good for Morgan. Look at that impressive flexibility. It's still like it's stalemated, though. They're going to have to improvise here. Morgan's got to improve position. I didn't think there was an improvement in position there, but the referee gave him the 2 takedown. Now, wow, that was a wonderful single leg by Morgan. And he had good technique, and Griffin pulled a last-ditch effort by funking him and rolling under and grabbing the ankle. Very impressive flurry, agility, flexibility. Wrestlers are amazing in what they got to come up with. The high-level guys they're so creative technically, and they combine it with that uncanny agility, flexibility.
Here's another look. Morgan Had to work for it, but finally able to finish.
Now, I thought it was over here. A nice angle, but Griffin dives under with what we call the funk, and he got the ankle. And they stayed in this position for a long time with no change of control. I thought they were going to call stalemate, but eventually the referee said Morgan's under control. I don't know. Who's in control here, Jayson? I'm not sure yet. He could have called control earlier, maybe, but it's a tricky call.
Cody Olsen's opinion counts more than mine, so we'll take what the official said. He's got it in control on the takedown, and Morgan with a 4-2 advantage entering the second period.
Yeah, the official Cody Olsen, he's a big boy. We better not argue with him, but I'm going to give him grief later, maybe. Privately. I don't know. It was a close call. Could have went either way. He probably should have called the 2 earlier or called a stalemate sooner. And he ended up waiting in the same position to give him 2. But Morgan's made no effort to ride. He's not tried to stay on top. He's pretty much kicked it loose. Oh, beautiful slide by. Whether that sweep single again, it'll be tough. Morgan's got to pull in. You only have to have 1 foot in. He's going to jerk it in. This is going to be tricky. It's still 50-50 here. Morgan's got to get a good... Nope, nothing. What Morgan needed to do was get a good foot plant in the mat and jerk it in. He never got his feet planted into the mat to pull it in. More credit to Griffin's athletic ability and power than any lack of technique on Morgan's part. But that was impressive wrestling.
These two guys, as we mentioned, have a history with each other, so we're working it out here on the mat right now.
That was a great scramble, Jayson. He went from a slide by, he had him 80%, 90% finished. Griffin reacted, then he ended up on that sweep single. Again, Griffin reacted. Morgan's definitely the aggressor so far, but we're in a 1-point match. I'm a little surprised that Morgan's made no effort to ride after his 2 takedowns. Not even a little bit. I guess he's concerned about getting reversed and wants to just show his dominance on his feet. He is definitely the slicker wrestler on his feet.
We showed you Lou Ruggirello winning at 133 pounds in the last bout. Griffin here at 141. First Hofstra wrestlers at the All-Star Classic since Nick Gallo, who's the school's only wrestling national champion, and he competed back in 1977. So here it is, 3 decades later. Hofstra, the Pride represented, and what a great year last year for Coach Shiflett and the Pride, finishing the top 10 in the nation.
Yeah, Shiflett stepped up. He picked up where Ryan left and built on it, in my opinion, in the sense that he got his guys to peak at the end of the season. Hofstra was ready. Traditionally, Hofstra struggles at the end. Some people said it was due to lack of competition during the season. Some people say it was due to overtraining. Whatever it was, Shiflett had his boys ready at the end of the season. They peaked. He had a lot of All-Americans at the NWCA tournament. That's pretty amazing that they haven't had an All-Star representative in all that time.
Now, Oklahoma State certainly has had a litany of them over the years. Nathan Morgan carrying the torch here. Coleman Scott was expected to go at 133, but had to pull out with a knee injury. But certainly for the coaching staff of Oklahoma State, John Smith not with us tonight, but certainly the coaching staff of Oklahoma State, they've got work to do after unable to win a 5th straight national title last year.
Yeah, they got to keep plugging away. And the man you're looking at in the corner, Eric Guerrero, is intimately involved in the development of Morgan and Coleman Scott, all the lightweights. Eric Guerrero was a 3-time NCAA champion for the Cowboys. And between periods there, he was telling Morgan, you got to work hard now. No waiting around, because this is Griffin's tough position. Not chewing on the leg like this, but in general on top, tilting. So Guerrero was really intense there before the camera went out of it, in the sense of right now he wants a stalling call. Guerrero's out on the mat. He wants a stalling call against Griffin because he's hanging on the leg. I might call a stalemate. Griffin's got to work up. Morgan wants a stalling call. Griffin's got to work up here. And he is. And he's driving. He's driving towards the back. Now he's got to get a wrist to work that tilt position.
2 guys with NCAA experience, dueling here at the All-Star.
Hofstra coach Tom Shiflett, he's looking for pressure forward. He wants him to get the wrists. It's really important. The jump on the whistle is critical at this level and all levels.
Hey Ken, things have changed. This used to be one of the first events of the season, but now teams are scheduling tough dual meets out of the gate. I mean, Hofstra's already battled Missouri and Penn State here early in the season as these guys work here on the side. What's Griffin got going?
in a scramble here, Morgan's trying to funk him. Morgan was almost out. Griffin went in from tackle. Oh, quick stalemate there that time. Hey, you mentioned dual meets. Yeah, Hofstra came into Penn State, my alma mater, the other day, and Jake Strayer, All-American for Penn State, dominated Griffin. He was really aggressive, took it to him on his feet, dominated the tempo. The crowd was into it. He rode him. Strayer rode Griffin. Everybody was worried about Griffin riding Strayer, but Penn State's Jake Strayer had a great match, and he's actually ranked right in the thick of things now with these guys. These two guys and Jake Strayer, along with numerous other guys, are the top 6 guys in the country at 133 right. At 140-41 right now.
It's interesting. More and more teams are scheduling more and more tougher non-conference foes earlier and earlier in the season. Used to try to get your guys to peak for the end of the season, but some tough competition right out of the gate.
I think the philosophy is they want to give their guys some early season motivation to train hard in October and really get them out of the blocks and going, what have you.
Well, Morgan's got a 4-3 lead right now, but as Griffin works here on top, he's got 54 seconds of riding time, so if he can hold him down for at least another 6 seconds and work on that riding time, that bonus point would get him even at 4-piece, could send us to OT.
Yeah, we got a barn burner right here. Finishing my thought on this weight class, nice follow on the Granby, is that this was the weight that Derek Moore won by tech fall last year. He's graduated. And Lang from Northwestern, the runner-up, was undefeated last season. And he's been out so far with injury. There was talk of him, medical red shirt. Wow. Beautiful technique. Charles Griffin returned to the mat technique. You don't see that very often. And now this is his move. The cross wrist roll. It's over. Griffin is dominating.
We got the back points for the first move and more right there. And Nathan Morgan knows it.
What a great flurry of action.
In all, 5 back points for Griffin, and the riding time ends up being a 9-4 victory for the Hofstra wrestler. What a flurry. A 2-point move, a 3-point move, and the bonus point. And Hofstra in the final 30 seconds helps the Pride go back-to-back here at the NWCA All-Star Classic. Now, Tom Shiflett got to be a happy head coach. He sees his guys perform at the top level against Minnesota and Oklahoma State, no less. Charles Griffin, big moves, and a victory at 141.
Imagine that you give a laptop to a child, and that one child can come up with these great ideas. You give them the power to learn, the power to connect with all ideas around the world. Imagine the difference that we can make. Our goal is 1 laptop per child, and now you can help. Donate a laptop to a child in a developing nation and get one for the child in your life. Between November 12th and November 26th, you can help a child learn, help a child connect with the world, 1 laptop at a time.
Greetings, avid sports fans. I'm Stuckey.
Hello, hockey aficionados. I'm Murray. We love college hockey.
Hockey.
On CSTV.
Television.
There's something romantic.
Yeah.
About the camaraderie. All the different arenas. And guys with their sticks.
I got a stick.
I love the man in uniform. And Doc Emmerich.
A legend.
Intense rivalries. Girls full of passion. CSTV's got man-on-man body action. If you're reading the news or throwing fish on the floor, when I watch a live game, all I want to do is score. All the college high that you want to see, when I want to get it on, I turn to CSTV. Oh, some high-sticking, hat-tricking, punt-licking, body-checking, board-breaking college hockey on CSTV.
One of the 1 versus 2 showdowns here at this 42nd annual NWCA All-Star Classic presented by the United States Marine Corps. Number 1, Dustin Schlatter of Minnesota, 149 pounds, against number 2, Josh Churella of Michigan.
Wow, they both come out aggressively in the first 10 seconds. I like what I see. That's what wrestlers need to do. Come out and get after it. Too much standing out. That was great. Dustin moved forward, was aggressive. Churella got the shot in. Let's see if they keep at it.
Schlatter got a couple of wins against Churella. Beat him at a dual meet, then 3-2 in the Big Ten final. Churella, fifth-year senior out of Northville, Michigan. Schlatter doing the job at Minnesota. Won the NCAA title as a freshman back in 2006 before getting derailed last year, finishing third at Nationals. And getting busy right away. The two here in the opening minute.
And he's not going to even bother to ride. He's going to try to dominate on his feet. What Dustin Schlatter did right there is great wrestling. It's called a reshot. When your opponent shoots at you, and as he and you stop his shot, as he backs out, you go in for the shot. Dustin hit a sweep single and got a great angle.
Well, here's a look at these two guys who both had their seasons really stopped by Edinburgh's Gregor Gillespie. Schlatter had his 65-match winning streak snapped in the NCAA tournament. We mentioned he ended up third, and Churella lost in the NCAA final in OT to Gillespie. Win away from that national championship after a career-high 31 victories last year for the Michigan Wolverine.
Yeah, Gillespie, the dream crusher. He's coached at Edinburgh by Tim Flynn. I went to college with Tim Flynn at Penn State. We were training partners, he's All-American. He's a super dedicated coach, and he really had Gillespie ready for these guys, along with his assistant, Cliff Moore. They did good strategy. Gillespie rose to the occasion, wrestled really tough and close matches, did an incredible job. You seen right there in the flurry, Schlatter tried to do the same thing. He tried to take that reshot sweep single again. Trell was a little more ready for that, but everybody in the country knows he does that, and he was able to do it anyways in the first minute of the match. It's pretty impressive that he was able to. He's got good instincts, good feel for when to take that shot. The timing is what it's all about.
45 seconds.
Under a minute to go here in the first period. Takedown holding up so far for Dustin Schlatter of Minnesota.
Dustin's looking for a duck to the left arm. Again, that's something Trella knows well. He'll have to get in a flurry. There's not going to be any easy points here. I mean, there's going to have to be some hand fighting and flurrying. You saw Dustin hand fighting with that duck. There's Pat looking on. He's staying pretty calm. Now, Pat's a strength coach. He's a retired SWAT policeman. He's pushed his boys, very disciplined family. And now he's got a fitness company, CPD Fitness, and he's working hard to train his boys to be more explosive, along with many other people. He personally trains a lot of wrestlers, a lot of athletes, and the Schlatters are explosive, so he must know what he's doing.
Certainly is the case. CP Schlatter, another outstanding wrestler on that Minnesota squad. Normally he's got double duty watching them both. Just Dustin here at the All-Star this year. Dustin beat Oklahoma's Matt Storniolo last year at the All-Star Classic in Dallas 3-0 and trying to go back-to-back.
This is a more exciting one for him, though. Storniolo, he felt super confident against. Churella, certainly he's confident, but Churella, this is a more close matchup, as we'll see, because it's 2-2 here in the second period.
The escape for Churella. We saw a lot last year, Ken, that guys tried to play it close to the vest against Dustin and not get blown out after we saw him be a point machine during that freshman year. Any adjustments he made?
Well, I don't know if it's adjustments he made, but his opponents were really slowing him down. If they keep doing that, he's going to have to open up. In this case, Trella's taking it to it. Trella's taking most of the shots. Just as you were speaking there, that's why my thought wasn't there. Dustin was called for stalling. So Dustin hasn't done a whole lot this match other than the reshot so far. So Trella's doing one, taking the action control. And to answer your question, Dustin's not changing a whole lot yet, although he's pushing a little bit more. Last year he stood around a fair amount. His knee was bugging him. He had some knee problems. But he's looking healthy right now, and he is pressing the issue. He just hasn't committed to too many shots yet.
Again, just a stall warning against Schlatter right now as we head into the final minute of the second period. Now, Mark Churella, if you've watched our coverage on CSTV over the year, we've seen him as the father looking on at his boys on the mat. This year, a different role. He's a volunteer assistant coach for the Wolverines, so he's even closer to the action.
Indeed he is, and he's certainly well qualified. He's a three-time NCAA champ, a legend in our sport, very hard-working man, a successful businessman. And he chose for his son's season here to walk away from his business a little bit. Not totally, but obviously he's in the wrestling room every day as a volunteer coach, spending time, quality time with his son. I was interested to see if they'd have any new wrinkles, but so far, very straight on, Jayson. Most of Trella's shots have been straight on. He's more aggressive, but he's not showing me anything slick. He's not showing me that he's going to take Dustin down with anything out of the ordinary.
Final 10 seconds. We'll see if either of these guys throw a little offense here before the end of the period. And Dustin got maybe a thumb or a finger to the eye, and Cody Olsen will stop it for the moment.
What Schlater's got to worry about here is the stalling warning, because Churella, got a fair warning, and he's pushing the pace.
Well, we mentioned Mark Churella being a great legend. He was a two-time participant in this very event. 1978, Ken, he beat the legendary Dave Schultz 12-6 at the All-Star, and then the next year he pinned Missouri's Dave Miller in 49 seconds at the All-Star. So wonderful to see that tradition passed down from generation to generation at this great event.
Yeah, Mark Churella was the real deal. He was just amazing. It's a great family sport. His sons are tremendous wrestlers. Interesting that he beat Schultz. Dave Schultz, one of my heroes, a legend in our sport, just had a great passion for our sport. We're going to get a potentially dangerous call here, I think. Oh, stalling on top. Okay, good call. Good call. Could have gone either way.
Well, now the stall warnings are even between both wrestlers.
Yeah, it was Churella's responsibility to pull Schlatter to the mat. He didn't try to pull him to the mat, so we got a stalling warning against him. I'm trying to think three things at once. I'm talking about Dave Schultz. I'm talking about the stalling warnings and the legs. But on Schultz, he's just a famous wrestler in our sport. He was Olympic champion, multi-time NCAA champion, just a great leader. He had a tragic death 10 years ago at the hands of a crazy man named John DuPont, and he's kind of like a legend, an icon in our sport that a lot of people look up to, including myself. And Churella, as you see, look at this, father against father. You see Churella, then you see Schlatter staying calm.
They're trying to hang in there as their boys battle on the mat. Two of the best in the Big Ten and in the nation. And the escape here for Schlatter in the third period with a minute to go.
Okay, Schlatter is going to have to take a shot somewhere in this period, or I think he'll get one for stalling. So Churella's pushing. Let's see if Churella opens up. So right now, Schlatter's up by one. There's the shot. That's a good shot, too. He's stalling there. He's still stalling, but he's not going to call for it there. He should have tried to finish that. I think that's bad tactics. I think he should have tried to finish that shot, but at least it keeps him from getting called for stalling. Now let's see if Churella really pushes the pace here. That's where Dustin wants to be. That's good for Schlatter, underhooking. Again, though, he's kind of stalling smart. He doesn't have a lot of offense from here. He's not looking to score. He's just looking to control the tie and not get one for stalling. And he's done that effectively in the last 40 seconds. Meanwhile, Churella needs to get one good shot in. I look for Dustin to stay calm here. We got injury time, possibly? Can't tell what happened.
Might have a little blood time here on the side. Just trying to check out Dustin Schlatter, getting a little wipe, and they're going to go over and make sure that the mat is cleaned up as well. And you see Mark Churella talking with Josh some strategy.
Yeah, he's telling him, you gotta move him. You can't just shoot straight in. You gotta set something up good. Make him step to you. He's got to get him ready, because right now only 22 seconds left. Now, typically I'd look for Schlatter just to keep good position and back off a little bit, but he's been warned for stalling, Jayson, so he's got to stay in there and wrestle.
Both of these guys warned for stalling, but it affects Schlatter more because he's got the lead. He doesn't want to give up the point.
Yeah, and he's not going to get back for stalling. He's got to stay tight right here. Wow, quick stalemate. Churella's got one more chance.
Riding time won't be a factor. Churella's got to get something done here. The final ticks. But Dustin Schlatter looks like he's going to ward him off as time expires. Dustin Schlatter adds another big victory to his impressive resume. Winner at the NWCA All-Star Classic for the second year in a row.
Smart tactics by Dustin Schlatter. Pat's saying, "Whoo, we got by another one." He would like to see more offense out of this, I'm sure. So would Dustin.
NCAA champ 2 years ago, looking to win it again in March, and starts off the early season with a big victory here at the All-Star Classic. First win for Minnesota in 3 bouts tonight. We've got another Big Ten battle, Wisconsin versus Illinois, next at 157.
Proud, the Marines.
It's something we all agree on. It's something we all do. And this is how it's done. The USO depends entirely on the generosity of the American people. Help us support our troops until everyone comes home.
Since 1989, Coca-Cola has provided more than $35 million in college scholarships. And as the NCAA's first corporate champion, Coca-Cola proudly supports 88 NCAA championships in 23 sports for 360,000 student athletes every year. Satisfying a thirst for learning, both in the classroom and on the field. The Coca-Cola Company and the NCAA.
Here in Oregon, it's Wisconsin and Illinois. Craig Henning of the Badgers, number 2 in the nation at 157 pounds against Mike Poeta, Jr. from the Fighting Illini.
I'm excited about this match, Jayson. Total conflict of styles. Poeta, watch him shove that elbow. He's got some crazy stuff. He passes the elbow, goes for the far leg. He's explosive. He's agile. He's fast. Henning, superior counter wrestler. Very hard to finish on. Almost impossible to finish on unless you explode through him. So this should be a unique contrast in style. The other thought would be Henning's tough on top, too. So it'd be interesting if they can't get any takedowns going, Poeta's going to show some offense at bottom, or Henning will throw the legs and reach onto it.
Henning second at the NCAAs last year, lost to Iowa State's Trent Paulson in the final. Poeta was third at the national tournament. These two met in the Big Ten tournament in the third place match, and Henning upset Poeta 7-2.
Boy, at this level, it's hard to define upsets because they're all ranked so high. But you know, these guys, this is interesting here. Poeta's intense, but he doesn't really look like he's moving Henning that well. Like, he's not getting him out of position. Henning's really staying solid. Poeta's going to have to get more movement to get Henning off balance. And Henning's slowing it down a little bit now. Henning wants to grab him. You see how elusive, he's poking the eye maybe. Poeta's elusive.
These two guys still feeling each other out now. Clenched up in the middle.
Poeta's got to clear that tie as he did. One of the Poeta's moves, he explodes. He shoves the elbow with his left hand and explodes with the far leg. And Henning obviously is aware of that. This is the position. Nice little attempt by Henning. That was Henning's first offensive maneuver. Henning's just kind of hanging out and slowing the pace. I think he's happy to. There, nice. But here's where Henning's tough. It's hard to finish on. His crazy leech. Poeta was in really good too. I say Poeta finishes this on most guys, but against Henning, it's going to be really tough. He's putting him in danger, though. You could pin him. You could pin him without controlling him. You got him. You got him.
Mike Poeta backs his way into a pin win. Ken, you kind of described it perfectly. All of a sudden, he's got him, and he had him, and it's over.
Well, you know, I talked to him before the match. I said, Poeta, I want you to stack him up like that. Yeah, I saw that come a little bit. It was pretty impressive work by Poeta. Henning got careless and let himself get too in danger. We saw it coming. Henning should have felt it coming. He shouldn't have stayed there too long.
You see Mark Johnson, the Illinois head coach, talking with his wrestler about what happened, and here's another look at how he got it done.
Beautiful. Like, nice double leg finish. They're tangled up. Poeta wrestled this smart. He just kept elevating legs, kept putting Henning towards danger. At some point in here, he felt it was going to be difficult to slip his head out. So right about here, he makes up his mind. I'm going to work him towards his back. I'm going to try to stack him up and elevate his ankles. You see him pulling. That's what he's got to do. He's got a leg, and now he's got him. You see him spread his hands. He knew what he was doing. He did a great job, and that's over right there. He was even there longer than, a second.
And Craig Henning watched it happen. Mark Johnson and Mike Poeta happy they got a pin win at the All-Star Classic.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
Imagine that you give a laptop to a child, and that one child can come up with these great ideas. You give them the power to learn, the power to connect with all ideas around the world. Imagine the difference that we can make. Our goal is 1 laptop per child, and now you can help. Donate a laptop to a child in a developing nation and get one for the child in your life. Between November 12th and November 26th, you can help a child learn, help a child connect with the world, 1 laptop at a time.
Everybody loves a free t-shirt, but here at Oregon, they're with a message to help save Oregon wrestling back here at the NWCA All-Star Classic presented by the United States Marine Corps. Jayson Knapp, Ken Chertow here with Mike Moyer, Executive Director of the NWCA. And Mike, you know, Oregon, much has been made. The Ducks going to drop their wrestling program after this year. That's part of the reason I know you brought this event here to the Pacific Northwest for the first time in 17 years. What are you hoping to gain by bringing this event here this year?
Well, we just want to make sure everyone recognizes the national outpouring of support for this program. You know, we maintain that one of the primary purposes of intercollegiate athletics is to develop the next generation of high school, middle school, elementary school teachers, coaches, and mentors. And up here in the northwestern part of the country, intercollegiate wrestling is so underserved as it is, and we can't afford to lose another program.
That's certainly the case with Oregon, and these fans have come out here and support. You've got to be uplifted by what you've seen from the community, especially at this event tonight. Where can you go from here?
Well, you know, clearly no one could deny when you look in this arena that there is an incredible support for the program here. And what we need to do is we need to build on this. You know, this is a great first step, but we need to continue this support. It needs to grow over time. And we're not just here to support intercollegiate wrestling. We believe in all Olympic sports. And we want to do everything we can to make sure that the next generation of young kids have great mentors to make sure they have the same opportunities we had coming through.
Well, we certainly hope that it pays off in what you hope for tonight, Mike.
Well, thank you very much.
Mike Moyer, Executive Director of the National Wrestling Coaches Association. The action continues here at the All-Star in a moment.
Hear that? Sounds like the best sports are back on CSTV. All the training finally pays off when another exciting season of college sports begins. Football.
Into the end zone for a touchdown.
Soccer.
Beautiful cross and a finish.
Volleyball.
With an absolute missile to win it.
Hockey.
Rebound, they score!
And basketball. Get all your teams on all your screens with CSTV.
Precise corners.
First time into the goal bubble.
Precise angles.
Nice ball at that near post.
Precise timing.
Diving across the face of the goal.
The beautiful game. Beautifully precise.
She scores! That's the goal of the game.
Watch NCAA Women's Soccer on CSTV. And don't miss the NCAA Division II Championship, Saturday at 1.
Back here at Mack Court in Eugene, Oregon, host of the 42nd Annual National Wrestling Coaches Association All-Star Classic, presented by the United States Marine Corps. Jayson Knapp, Ken Chertow. Some great matches so far. A couple of the highlight bats. Number 1, Dustin Schlatter, against number 2 Josh Churella at 149 down to the wire.
That was the key right there, the single leg, and he got an important escape as well. Here it comes. He's going to get his one, and this seals the deal to make sure he gets out of there. It could have been ugly if he stayed underneath Churella.
Minnesota Schlatter beats Churella of Michigan 3-2, and then at 157, Mike Poeta of Illinois backs his way into a pin win against Craig Henning of Wisconsin.
Great job by Poeta, elevating the feet, pulling the knee tight, being aware of where he was at. Look at this. He's going to stack him right up, and Henning gets careless right here and gets buried. Very impressive work.
So the win for Illinois. Hey, don't miss one of the Rocky Mountains' great rivalries. Renewed on the gridiron this Saturday at 2. Utah and BYU square off, rematch of last year's thrilling contest that came down to a last-second Cougar score. Can the Utes exact revenge? It's all Saturday afternoon. Football Nation on CSTV. We're right here at Mack Court in Eugene. This place has been around since the 1920s, celebrated its 80th anniversary last year. Great old barn for college sports in this All-Star Classic. At 165 pounds now, Eric Tannenbaum, number 2 ranked out of Michigan, against 3rd ranked Patrick Pitsch of Arizona State.
These guys just kind of feeling each other out of here, but look for Tannenbaum to open up with a low single with a double. He's got some quick straight-on shots, but Pitsch comes up with a nice shot. Good wizard technique by Tannenbaum. Good flurry there. Pitsch is quite an athlete. He's explosive and powerful, but I'll look for Tannenbaum to get in on his leg attacks next. Oh! Wow. Now he's got to finish, though. He's got to get the angle. He's doing good. He's got to get higher. He's going to try to dump him or cut across to a double. A little sloppy, a little careless. There's not going to be a takedown here, I don't think. He's still got a foot in. You see the rule. Remember the rule in college, you only have to have 1 foot in. So Tannenbaum can keep 1 foot in and jerk him in a little bit. It's not going to happen. Good job by Pitsch. Offset the takedown because Tannenbaum had it 90% finished.
Tannenbaum, 3-time All-American, twice at 149. And then he was 4th last year at the NCAAs, but he was up 2 weight classes to 165. We talked about this before. When you make that transition, Ken, 2 weight classes, big deal moving up.
Yeah, and he did it very effectively, as did Churella. Moved up too. The Michigan team in general has chosen to move up their guys and done very well. And something to take note of, wrestlers do not need to starve or dehydrate to make weight. Our sport's doing much better in that respect the last 10 or 20 years. More and more wrestlers are eating healthy, strength training, and doing really well, closer to their natural weight. There's much less starvation, dehydration, and it's good. And it just shows you young guys at home, you don't need to cut a lot of weight or any weight to be successful. You can just wrestle close to what you weigh out of practice, eat good, nutritious food year-round, and that's what Tannenbaum's doing. He looks good. I bet you he'll keep it up throughout the match, too.
As we watch Tannenbaum and Pitsch go at it here at 165, we're going to bring in the winner at 149 pounds, Dustin Schlatter of Minnesota. Dustin, congratulations. Obviously, you've seen Churella a bunch of times. Did you get what you expected in that bout?
Yeah, I mean, it went all right. I can't say it was my perfect match, but, you know, I'll take it for the first match of the year.
Dustin, you hit a nice reshot. What were you thinking there? What were you looking for?
You know, he hits a lot of his attacks, especially early on, and, you know, just looking to, you know, stop him, use some momentum, and get a quick score there. You know, when I block him, he's coming up. You know, it's a great opportunity to score. You know, it's a perfect setup.
Dustin, I know last year for you guys, team-wise, the goal was to recapture the NCAAs. You did that. What's the mindset this year now that the target's back on your back as the reigning NCAA champs?
You know, this year there's a big emphasis on individuals. You know, we got a lot of seniors on the team, and none of them have, you know, individually reached their goals. And so we're really striving for, you know, a lot of national champs individually, high All-Americans. And if we do that, you know, I think the national title as a team will take care of itself.
Well, Dustin, this is Coach Cherito. Your buddy Roger Kish is coming up. We talked a little bit yesterday. What do you see happening? Talk to us a little bit about what you see happening in that match against Varner. What's he got to do to get paybacks?
You know, I think a big thing with him is just getting Varner to open up. Varner's a big, strong guy, and Kish has just got to create a lot of motion. He's got some quick reshots, some quick low shots, and just got to, you know, get Varner stepping, reaching, and just create some angles.
Dustin, thanks for your time. Best of luck the rest of this season.
Yep, thanks. Appreciate it.
Dustin Schlatter of Minnesota, again victorious at 149 pounds, picking up his second career All-Star Classic win. Now these two wrestlers, Tannenbaum and Pitsch, scoreless after the first period. And Tannenbaum has some history in this event. 2 years ago, when this event was in Stillwater, Oklahoma, he upset then defending NCAA champ Zach Esposito on his home mat at the All-Star 7-3.
Yeah, I remember covering that match with you, Jayson, for CSTV. That was exciting, and Oklahoma State brought the match into their gym, and they didn't do so well. You know, as Esposito bit the dust, if memory serves me correctly, Mako lost in that match as well.
And those guys certainly were able to right the ship that season and go on to win another NCAA title. But again, Minnesota, the top dog last year, the Golden Gophers getting it done with another NCAA title, third since 2001. Here Tannenbaum picks up a point for the escape early in period number 2, and Pitsch trying to work on getting his first points of the match.
Tannenbaum is bleeding a little bit. The match may get stopped for a second here. Nothing major. He's got a little scrape on his eye. But Tannenbaum's got to get those low shots, and he's doing too much paw and not enough body faking. Tannenbaum wrestles best when he's body faking and moving. Right now, he's letting Pitsch control the tempo a little bit.
Yeah, the Arizona State senior out of Spanaway, Washington, two-time defending Pac-10 champ. He's been a win short of All-America status at Nationals the last 2 years. So you certainly know that's a focus for this season. And coming in ranked 3rd in the nation, obviously his aspirations could be higher.
No doubt. He's been knocking on the door. That's not a good move by Pitsch, though. He stopped. He got stuck underneath. And that's one of the things that's holding him back from cracking the top echelon, putting his move together in combination. He got in there on a shot and really let Tannenbaum run behind him pretty easily.
Tannenbaum 2 for the takedown, 3-0 lead. And under 10 seconds left to go here, second period.
Yeah, he's going to ride right here hard. Boy, the energy's kind of left us right before the intermission. That exciting pin by Poeta. The place was jacked up. This gym is a great wrestling venue. You talk about the tradition here of Oregon sports in this venue. The first 2 levels of this place are filled. There looks to be about 4,000 people in here, which is a tremendous turnout here. And they were just really excited to see that great wrestling. The first 5 matches have been awesome. Pretty amazing to me that the University of Oregon would consider letting this program go with all this support. Oregon wrestling is very strong, and not just Oregon, but the Northwestern states have really improved tremendously in the last decade in wrestling, as has Oregon. So I'm glad to see all these people turn out, and they're fighting, as we talked about with Mike Moore, the executive director of the Coaches Association. We talked about them fighting to save the program because there is a need for it. There's a need for these fans, students, to have a program at the University of Oregon.
Certainly monitor the progress of that as we watch the two guys head-to-head here into the 3rd period. Tannenbaum of Michigan, the only 3 points so far, and he's racked up a minute of riding time right now, and if he can hang on for a few more seconds, he'll lock up a bonus point, and he's now got it. If he can keep in this position on top and stay here and work the clock a little further, he'll rack up and lock up that bonus point, assuming Pitsch doesn't flip him over and escape. And right now, the Arizona State wrestler working on doing that, but Tannenbaum sends him back to the mat.
Yeah, for as strong as Pitsch is, he's not showing us a lot of explosion on bottom. He's kind of being methodical, and I guess this is why he's been a step away. He has got the number 3 ranking now. It'll be interesting if he can keep it. But Tannenbaum, who usually doesn't ride a whole lot, is really having an easy time of riding Pitsch here. The Pitsch is one of the leaders of Arizona State. You know, that's the Pac-10 wrestling has really improved and grown. Another thing with the University of Oregon, why in the world would they consider letting the sport go? The Pac-10 wrestling's growing. The West Coast is growing in wrestling. Arizona, California, right up here, Oregon and Washington. Just lots of good wrestling.
Well, Tannenbaum with a great ride here in the 3rd period does get the riding time point. Trying to hang on for the shutout right now, and it looks like he will get it. With the riding time point, 4-0 whitewashing for Eric Tannenbaum of Michigan. 28-3 overall last year. 3-time All-America. Would like to do that again, but has designs of maybe breaking through for a national championship. Tannenbaum the winner at 165. 4-0 over Patrick Pitsch of Arizona State. Great action here at Mack Court in Oregon. We'll head to 174 coming up, and another number 1 versus number 2 showdown here on CSTV.
The proud, the Marines.
Of fencing and 3 years of law school teach you a lot. For him, it's confidence. For me, it's pride. Go to NCAAstudent.org to find out how your child could become one of the many student athletes who go pro in something other than sports.
School scouts are out early today.
There are over 380,000 NCAA student athletes, and just about all of them will be going pro in something other than sports. Download the guide for college-bound students at NCAAstudent.org.
174 pounds, it's 1 versus 2. Top-ranked Gavin out of Pittsburgh against Matt Stolpinski of Navy. These two guys have never wrestled before.
Which is neat to see because they don't know each other that well. Be interested to see if they can open up and hit some different techniques. This is where Pitt likes to be. Keith Gavin from the University of Pittsburgh, he likes to be in that 2-on-1. And he's controlled the tide so far. He's almost come down. See, he's keeping a foot in there. He's trying to pull him back in. He's not going to get it.
Stolpinski, 44 victories last year, tying Navy's single-season record. He was 4th at the NCAAs. And Gavin rocketed to the NCAA final where he fell to Ben Askren. Askren had pinned him twice in the regular season, but Gavin got the first takedown in the NCAA final. Everybody's thinking, whoa, maybe we've got an upset, but Askren took care of business.
Indeed, he did. But Gavin really improved tremendously. As you know, Jayson comes from your area, Pennsylvania, and he was a good high school wrestler, but not a great one. He just kept improving and improving and improving. And he did a nice job of getting a takedown right there.
He picks up 2 for the takedown. 5th-year senior out of Factoryville in Pennsylvania. Went to Lackawanna Trail, and he was never a state champion in Pennsylvania in a wrestling-rich state. 3rd and 7th his best finishes, but he's a perfect example, kind of what you like to see sometimes. Late bloomer, keeps working at it, and it pays off here during college.
It happens a lot. Not everybody's at their maximum maturity when they're 16, 17 years old. Some kids just keep growing and getting better, especially in the upper weight classes. I believe, and you could probably attest to, Gavin was a middleweight in high school, and now he's an upper middleweight. He's put on about 20 pounds of muscle, and he's just gotten more agile, and his coordination and techniques caught up with his body. Tough on top too. He's got that good 2-on-1 on his feet, but he's leechy on top. We've seen a lot of crab rides tonight. There it is. That's the move that Donahoe and Ness tried on each other. Wow, he's running the half. Stolpinski's going to be too strong for this. Now, Stolpinski's been good all along. He's a New England star. You don't see a lot of stars coming out of New England, but he had a great career in high school and chose to go to the U.S. Naval Academy, a great student, serious scholar. A lot of these guys are up down the line tonight. Some of the best wrestlers are very serious students. Stolpinski's a great example.
And Stolpinski, as you mentioned, out of Westfield, Massachusetts. After high school, he actually spent a year training at the U.S. Olympic Training Center in Colorado Springs with some of the 2004 Olympians. So has that experience as well, and he's the first Navy man here at the All-Star Classic since Mark Connolly back in 2002.
Yep, he's really stepped it up, and that was a big developmental year for him. You can't redshirt at the Naval Academy, so it proved to be a redshirt year, and he did improve a great deal. Coming out of New England's not easy, so he got a good year under his belt. He's been one of the leaders of the Naval Academy program ever since.
Gavin just kind of cuts him loose, so Stolpinski gets the point for the escape, making it 2-1 here in the first.
Yeah, we got a good match here. You know, the U.S. Marines sponsor this event. They're really big supporters of wrestling. They recruit a lot of wrestlers. A lot of wrestlers are in the military. And there's Marines that are in the corner right now of the whole match. They've been honorary coaches. Well, I noticed the Marine in Stolpinski's corner getting a little more excited for this match. Truly, they were bonding. He was talking to him, getting him pumped up. It's got to be exciting for the Marines to see a U.S. Naval Academy representative out here against all these big-time schools competing.
Lance Corporal Courtney Myers on one side, Sergeant Matt Goodman as well, helping out here, serving as honorary captains for these wrestling sides here. This event sponsored by the United States Marine Corps. 2-1, Gavin still holding on to the win with a lead at this point in the second period. He'd like the victory if he can hold it up through 3 periods.
Wow, another crab. He is leechy on top. He's got the tight waist and half, tight waist and claw. He's really being aggressive on top. And now I start talking. He lets him go. He looked like he was so close to getting something going. He just decided to let him go. Oh, because he was warned for stalling. I didn't see the warning. So he got warned for stalling. I thought he was trying to turn him.
2-2 the score here.
Same takedown as earlier. Nice counterattacking. See, just shooting the shoot's no good. Stolpinski didn't have a very good setup there, and he's going to struggle now. Now, you look for Gavin to be aggressive, though. He's been warned for stalling. He doesn't want to give a point, so he's going to have to get off to the side, as you see him doing. He's got a near wrist hold now. Very tough hold on top.
And he's starting to pile up some riding time, now hitting the 2-minute mark. Looking maybe to earn a bonus point at the end of this match if he's got a minute or more when we are through. Stalemate the call. We'll head back to the center of the mat. And here's another look at the second of Gavin's 2 takedowns so far.
Pretty agile big man. Look at the quick spin. He laces his left leg inside. It's a nice job. Very quick. Let's see if he keeps working on top. His roommate at Pitt, Matt Coker, is an All-American last year at 157. And he's really tough on top as well, and they wrestle a lot together. I see Gavin improving, and he's got that wrist ride. This is something Coker's good at, the wrist rides, and that's something we saw Griffin do earlier to ice the match off with his opponent from Oklahoma State, Nathan Morgan.
So another escape for Stolpinski makes it 4-3. 20 seconds left to go in the second.
Stolpinski's still in the match, but he can't just shoot in. He's given up 2 go-behinds. He's got to pound on Gavin's head more. He's got to use his strength to move Gavin. That's one of Gavin's moves, the inside trip. He likes a lot. He does it usually off a 2-on-1.
Only thing wrong with it was it was out of bounds.
Too far out of bounds. See, he tries to drag his foot, though. See that? Boy, they go way out of bounds, don't they?
5 seconds.
Final couple of seconds, and we stay at 4-3. Gavin leading, and Pittsburgh on top of Navy at this point. Stolpinski will choose top. He would like to work off some of the riding time here. A 2:40 advantage right now for Gavin. And he'll stop the riding time clock as he popped out right away and leads 5-3 after the 1 point for the escape.
See, Stolpinski's got to clear his arm out of there. He's letting Gavin control that arm. Gavin likes that 2-on-1. Now this is Stolpinski's chance. He's got to be heavy hands. He's got to move him and be physical. He's got to wear him down, look for one good explosive takedown. You see Stolpinski's got those big, strong legs. He's quick, but he can't just shoot in. And he's doing good. He's banging. He's pulling. But you can see Gavin's kind of relaxed. He's ready. He's waiting. That was nice. Now he's got to get an angle. Wow, look at that rubber knee. That makes me hurt just looking at it. It's called potentially dangerous. But you know what? Gavin put himself in that position. Stolpinski's there. Look at Gavin. He's flexible. And the referee's got to do his job and call that potentially dangerous because that it is. Now Gavin goes in on a shot. You don't see that much out of Gavin. Stolpinski's leeching on hard. He's going to stalemate it possibly unless Gavin can pop his head up. Gavin needs to raise up. He needs to post a hand and raise up. He looks kind of content in there. Now he's trying to hook a leg. If he can get that leg hook, he might get it. This is not where Stolpinski wants to be, though.
Yeah, Stolpinski has bigger problems, down 2, and a point for riding time coming up, and now 2 for the takedown for Gavin, who may have put it away here in the third.
Yeah, 3 takedowns for Gavin. He did a good job, showed strength in all 3 positions. Very impressive performance for defending national runner-up, Keith Gavin.
Stolpinski gets a point for the escape to make it 7-4, but again, Gavin with the upper hand and riding time in his back pocket. He had the bonus point. It's an 8-4 victory for Pittsburgh's 5th-year senior, Keith Gavin, out of Factoryville, Pennsylvania. Gavin gets the W here over Matt Stolpinski of Navy. So for the second time tonight in our number 1 versus number 2 showdowns, the number 1 ranked wrestler ends up number 1. Will it happen again in our next weight class at 184? Because it's 1 versus 2 again. Jake Varner of Iowa State coming up against Minnesota's Roger Kish. Keith Gavin celebrating a victory at 174 pounds in his first appearance at the NWCA All-Star Classic.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
Imagine that you give a laptop to a child, and that one child can come up with these great ideas. You give them the power to learn, the power to connect with all ideas around the world. Imagine the difference that we can make. Our goal is 1 laptop per child, and now you can help. Donate a laptop to a child in a developing nation and get 1 for the child in your life. Between November 12th and November 26th, you can help a child learn, help a child connect with the world, 1 laptop at a time.
Might be the most highly anticipated bout of the night. Jake Varner ranked number 1 in the nation out of Iowa State against Roger Kish, 2nd-ranked wrestler from Minnesota at 184. Kish won at a dual meet 7-2 last season, then 5-2 in a battle at the national duels, but Varner got revenge in the NCAA semifinals, beating Kish 4-2 in sudden victory.
Yeah, he slowed the pace down that match, but he looks like he's coming to wrestle here today. He's out here moving really good. Well, he reminds me a lot of his coach, Cael Sanderson. Similar size, similar haircut, and most importantly, similar body motions. The way he body fakes and bangs on the head in and out. He's in there sparring with Sanderson all the time, in addition to getting a lot of personal coaching. So it's neat to see the reflection of Cael Sanderson's style in his protege, Jake Varner.
Varner ended up losing to Northwestern's Jake Herbert in the NCAA championship. Kish, 2nd at the NCAAs as a sophomore, and then 3rd at the national tournament last year after that semifinal loss to Varner.
Indeed. Kish is really good at the reshot, just like Dustin Schlatter is. Kish actually goes in on ankle picks off the reshot, whereas Schlatter does single legs typically. But in the NCAAs, Varner didn't take a lot of offense. He pretty much shut things down and stayed calm, and that really changed tempo. So Kish is going to have to decide what he wants to do here. He can't rely on Varner coming to him. He's going to have to look for some openings. So far, I think Varner's controlled the ties more. They're both kind of hand fighting, feeling each other out. Kish has got really good ankle picks, but you've got to create motion to get an ankle pick or get a reshot. Kind of ironic, that's Cael Sanderson's move, the ankle pick. So far, Varner's shutting shutting down his offense well, shutting down Kish's offense.
Kish out of Lapeer, Michigan. Varner out of Bakersfield, California. Kish 37-3 overall last year. 12 wins via fall. Varner 29-7, but on the edge, out of bounds, no points. And there is Cale Sanderson. Varner was the first Iowa State freshman since his head coach to make it to the NCAA final. Of course, Cale Sanderson, the legend may never be topped. 159-0, four-time unbeaten NCAA champ. Olympic gold medalist in 2004. And hey, as if there wasn't enough on the resume, National Coach of the Year last year for helping Iowa State to a second-place finish at the national tournament in his first season at the helm.
Yeah, Cale did a really good job picking up with Bobby Douglas. He had assisted Bobby for a long time. He got a lot of good young recruits in there and was able to get some good chemistry going. And he's good at the good thing, and he's done great with Varner. And you know, the near takedown there, beautiful flurry there. But not over yet. He's got to pull it in hard. See, he made a mistake there. He should have jerked it in.
Well, he had two things working against him, being on the edge and being out of time, and Kish couldn't overcome both. So we remain scoreless after a period as Cale Sanderson looks on.
Yeah, I still think he should have jerked in real hard instead of lunging out. But you know, the near takedown by Varner was an ankle pick. It was a Cale Sanderson ankle pick, but he went a little too high at it. He didn't quite get the heel like he wanted to. Subtleties, details matter. If you don't catch that heel and get the guy moving back a little bit, the timing is very important. Varner's trying to ride hard, but Kish is almost out. He's got a half and a wrist. Kish better not let up down there. Varner is getting nasty on top. I've seen Kish get ridden before. I've seen last year in the national duels, Ben Askren moved up a weight and rode him some. I've seen in high school, him and Phil Davis, who's up next. Phil Davis rode Kish for a whole period. So if Kish doesn't get away quickly, he struggles on bottom. So let's see what happens here on the restart. Let's see if Kish can get a good start of the whistle.
You mentioned All-Star last year, Jake Herbert took it to Kish with a 10-2 win in Dallas. But Varner right now is square the focus of the Minnesota Golden Gopher.
I'd say in general, Minnesota has to get better on bottom. If there's a weakness to the national championship team, it's bottom. You've seen Reiter get handled on bottom a little bit. I'd say one way, if somebody was going to pull an upset on Dustin Schlatter, hold him down would be a step in the right direction. Dustin knew that. He was really conscientious to get away from Churella with very good hand control. And just right up and down the line, you know, the improvement areas. Manny Rivera, another top Minnesota guy, great on his feet, but struggles on bottom at times. And here Kish has given him over a minute of riding time so far.
And we talked about that too with teams having big-time dual meets early in the going here in the season. We saw both of Hofstra's wrestlers coming out of the gate. Would you equate that to already having some tough competition early in the season, their success here at the All-Star?
Might have some, it's hard to say. I think a lot of it is just that those two came together. They came with their coach, they're similar weights. They were excited. I think it's a big advantage to come with your buddy at the same weight. And it's a big opportunity. You said very explicitly that was the first Hofstra rep since Nick Gallo. That was over 20 years ago. Nick Gallo's now an A6 representative. He's one of the leaders in A6 wrestling for our sport now. And he was the coach at Hofstra for a while. I mean, it's been a long time coming. So I'm sure the Hofstra boys were excited and motivated. And they both came out with a lot of energy and adrenaline.
Well, here at the end of this second period, Roger Kish gets ridden for the entire 2 minutes. Also a stall warning on Kish as well, so we'll track that as we go to the third.
I think he's going to let him go. He consulted with Coach Morgan, Marty Morgan, the assistant coach of Minnesota, in a corner. And he kind of looked indifferent. He's going to float a little bit, but I don't see him hold him down. He's not going to try to eat the riding time. So Kish is going to have to pick up the pace on his feet and show the ability to take Varner down.
Well, 1 point picked up by Varner, so he's got the 1-0 advantage, and he's got the opportunity possibly to hold on to riding time as well. So Kish is going to need to take down a back point, something to work in his favor offensively.
Oh, Varner likes that left underhook. He's controlling the ties, Jayson. Kish really hasn't got much offense going. Varner's not trying to score right now. He's controlling the collar. He's controlling the wrist. He's controlling the left underhook. He's doing a heck of a job. Kish really isn't showing the ability. I talked to Kish yesterday. He said for him to score, he's got to move Varner more. And right now, Varner looks too big and strong. He's not moving him.
Not a lot of offensive movement. A couple of times Kish has tried to work at the edge, but gotten nothing to show for it earlier in this bout at 184. Right now, Varner hanging on to the 1-point lead, and you can add riding time as well. He's now got that locked up. Kish needs offense, trying to get in.
You know, that was his chance. He was in deep. He's in deep. But this is an unusual tie-up. They're both... Kish has got to force something, though. That was Kish's great opportunity. He didn't even come close to finishing, though. Varner's not going to give nothing. Varner's just staying solid. There was the ankle pick. There's the underhook by Varner. He likes that position, the reverse headlock cruncher. I bet you he crushes a lot of opponents with that move right there, but against Kish, he's just using it to control the tie.
He doesn't need to crush him because he's got him where he wants him, behind. Varner on top and going to make it stand up with the point for riding time. It's a 2-0 win, and Hope, little fisticuffs after time has expired, and maybe that's a message sent for a little bit later on this season. So Varner gets a 2-0 win. They do shake hands and a little stare down. These guys could be seeing each other later on down the line. Varner beats Kish for the second time in a row, last year at the national tournament, and now to start off the new season at the NWCA All-Star Classic. Win for Varner, and maybe a message sent as well by both wrestlers.
You know, Varner started that. That was a little cheap shot by Varner. He instigated that. That was unnecessary.
Varner the winner. Back with more from Eugene, Oregon, 197 pounds. Up next, Penn State versus Northwestern.
The proud, the Marines.
Greetings, avid sports fans. I'm Stucky.
Hello, hockey aficionados. I'm Murray. We love college hockey. Hockey. On CSTV. Television. There's something romantic. Yeah. About the camaraderie. All the different arenas. And guys with their sticks. I got a stick. I love men in uniform. And Doc and Rick. A legend. Intense rivalries, girls full of passion. CSTV's got man-on-man body action. If you're reading the news or throwing fish on the floor, when I watch a live game, all I want to do is score. All the college high that you want to see, but I want to get it on and turn to CSTV. Body checking board, ranking college hockey on CSTV.
Hear that? Sounds like the best sports are back on CSTV. All the training finally pays off when another exciting season of college sports begins. Football.
Into the end zone for a touchdown.
Soccer.
Beautiful cross and a finish.
Volleyball.
With an absolute missile to win it.
Hockey.
Rebound, they score!
And basketball. Get all your teams on all your screens with CSTV.
197 pounds, Big Ten battle. Number 2, Phil Davis of Penn State against number 3, Mike Tamillow of Northwestern. These two guys met a couple of times in the past year. Davis beat Tamillow in a dual meet last season, but the Northwestern wrestler turned the tables in freestyle this summer at the University Nationals, won the 211-pound title, most outstanding wrestler at the event, and he's got Davis in a little bit of trouble here early.
Davis has got incredible balance. He's in this position too often for him. Look how easy Tamillow got in. Davis has got uncanny balance and flexibility. You can't teach that. That's just definitely good genes.
3-time All-America selection, or actually earned that honor by his performance at the national tournament. He made it to the national final in 2006, 2 years ago, as a Big Ten champ. Last year maybe slipped a little bit, 4th at Big Tens, 5th at the NCAAs. He was ranked number 1 much of the season.
He had trouble peaking at the end. He didn't look like himself at the end. Some of the Penn State guys struggled there at the end of the season. You got to have that gas tank full. That's something that Minnesota and Oklahoma State tend to do pretty well in general, is peak at the end of the season and win the NCAA team titles. You look here today, Minnesota lost 3 of their 4 bouts. Not very good showing. But, you know, I'll still look for them to be right up there at the end.
Well, Tamillow was 7th at Nationals last year, earning his first All-America honor. Big Ten champ of this weight class. Yeah, these guys are certainly showing off right now.
Oh, he's got the cradle. This is his thing. Oh, nope, he's not going to get it. I think we might see a stalemate here. But this Tamillow is committed to 2 deep shots. I think we got to see a stalemate soon. Davis is going to try to cradle him.
Davis, senior from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Tamillow out of Oak Park, Illinois.
Davis reminds me of one of his club coaches in Harrisburg named Craig Corbin. Craig's worked with him a lot. Just kind of that uncanny counter ability, and also on top. The Davis' strength, his cradles, that's what his key thing is. We'll be interested to see if he can get it going against Tamillow.
The great wrestling tradition at Penn State that you were a part of. So how about this? He's got the potential to become only the 4th 4-time All-America in Nittany Lion wrestling history. That would put him high on a list with a lot of talented guys.
Indeed it would. That'd be pretty awesome. Greg Alinsky, Jimmy Martinson, Sherlock, some of the guys that have been 4-time All-Americans for the Lions. Those guys are consistent performers, and Phil has done that kind of consistency.
End of the first here. And Davis maybe trying to add some points. He got out of a precarious predicament in the early going there, balancing on 1 foot. Tamillow had the upper hand, couldn't put him away, and we are still where we started, scoreless, as we head to period number 2.
I've seen Phil in that position a couple other times in competition. He gives his leg up too easy, but he relies on his balance and flexibility to stay out of that position.
Davis already with a win over a ranked wrestler this year, beat number 8 Hudson Taylor of Maryland by tech fall.
Then he also steamrolled Hofstra's ranked wrestler in the dual meet the other day. So he's a machine.
And doing big things here to start off the second. About 2 for the reversal.
Penn State assistant coach Dave Hart was an All-American for Penn State a couple times in an upper weight class. He weighs about 200 pounds. And he works with Phil a lot. And I've seen, you know, he's really pushed Phil and helped in his development a great deal. It's kind of in wrestling, you get your personal coaches, and Dave's responsible for the big boys and done a great job with Phil Davis. Phil stalling a little bit right here. He's got to work to finish this takedown or work up or do something. He's almost out. Not what Phil Davis wanted. He would have liked to have got a clean chance on top to get that cradle working. Now, this is a key for Tamillow. Tamillow's going to have to pick up the pace and try to get a takedown.
Troy Sunderland, head coach of Penn State, looking on as his wrestler tries to protect this 2-1 advantage. Under a minute to go in the second.
Let's see which guy really takes control of ties here and mixes it up. They're both kind of just pushing and shoving right here. Phil breaking it out. Look, a little big level change. Let's see if he tries to score at the end of the period. You know, as you remember from last year's CST broadcast, I really emphasized guys scoring at the end of the period. You see a lot of guys doing it, but we haven't seen that tonight yet.
Now, you talk about meeting guys in this event, and certainly the focus is winning at the end of the year in the postseason. Do you think guys played a little close to the vest and don't want to give up some of their best moves to guys they may see later on down the line this season?
You know, I hope not. I hope they break out the kitchen sink and an all-star meet and just go at it, see what they can do. I think it's your advantage to mix it up and go at it.
Tamillow went for it there at the end of the period, but Davis hangs on, still 2-1 the advantage at the end of the second. Davis got on the board with a sweet reversal.
Yeah, that was. He moved his hips really good. Keeps good base, Tamillow falls off a little bit. Davis slips out. And Tamillow's going to pick bottom here in the third period. He's got his work cut out for him. Boom, nice escape. See, Davis messed up by not holding him down.
2-1, Davis over Tamillow here in the third period.
Tamillow's got to get to work here. He's got to move this. Davis' strength. If he's going to win this match, it's got to be now. He's got to get moving. Now, I mentioned Dave Hart, Phil's personal coach, but at Northwestern, Bill Shear is Tamillow's personal coach. He's the volunteer coach. Almost cradle. He's got it. He's got a cradle locked up. There it is.
And this is bad news for the Northwestern wrestler. Davis racking up the back points right now.
Uncanny the way he just slipped that on there. It didn't even look tight, but he got him anyways. He's got tremendous length and strength.
Credit Tamillow for getting out, but still 3 back points for Phil Davis, lengthening his lead now to 5-1.
Nittany Lions breaking it out. Gotta love the alma mater busting the cradle out on top. Is that our first? No, it's not our first set of back points. We've seen Griffin get some back points early in the night. Look, he's still going to work on that cradle. It looks like Tamillow's going to have to go back to Northwestern and get with Bill Shear and work on this bottom stuff. But Shear's done a great job developing the upper weights at Northwestern. Jake Herbert, you mentioned earlier, NWCA champ. Tamillow at 197 here. Nice escape. All right, he's going to break it out. 30 seconds. He's got to get aggressive. He's got to finish takedown, but he's too many points broken open. The cradle just breaks open the match. He would need a big throw.
37 wins, leading the way for the Wildcats last year for Mike Tamillow, but doesn't look like he's going to get the W tonight. It will go to Phil Davis of Penn State. When you add on the bonus point for riding time, it's a 6-2 victory for Davis of Penn State. And last year, he was upset. He failed to make weight for this event, forfeited. He comes back and struts his stuff for the fans here in Eugene, Oregon. Phil Davis gets the win at the NWCA All-Star Classic, thanks in part to that cradle to back points.
Look at that, and he reverses it. Hip ice over. That is really hard to do. He's got good length. He's got it. Wow.
Impressive for Phil Davis. A winner here in Oregon. Back for the final bout of the night. The heavyweights next.
They've stormed beaches and freed countries. They've raised our flag and our hope. They've been called leathernecks. They've been called devil dogs. But above all, they're called Marines.
It's something we all agree on. It's something we all do. This is how it's done. The The USO depends entirely on the generosity of the American people. Help us support our troops until everyone comes home.
They wear the school colors for a few fleeting years, leave behind moments we'll always remember, and take with them the spirit to excel in all they do. That's why the NCAA corporate family provides scholarships, sponsors youth programs, and supports all 23 NCAA sports. They know that while the excitement of college sports is shown in moments, the value lasts a lifetime.
Final bout of the night of this 42nd annual NWCA All-Star Classic presented by the United States Marine Corps. Big guys, 285 pounds. Tervel, Dlagnev out of Nebraska-Kearney against Wade Sauer from Cal State-Fullerton. Sauer, number 3rd ranked heavyweight in Division I. Dlagnev, the number 1 ranked wrestler in Division II, and he's the first D2 wrestler to be in the main All-Star event since Dan Russell of Portland State back in 1990. The last time this event was here in the Pacific Northwest. Dlagnev has actually won a couple of exhibition bouts and battled in them in the All-Star Classic the last 2 years, but great to recognize the smaller school guys here in the main event. He certainly has the resume for it.
Indeed he does. He's really stepped it up, and he's been one of the leaders of the UNK program at Kearney, Nebraska. They've done a great job. They were national dual champions last year. They're right in the thick of things, the NCAA title every year. Mark Bauer, the head coach, look at that, he snaps him down, how physical. Almost getting back points out of it. Tervel's head coach, Mark Bauer, recruited him out of Texas. He saw his talent, and he's been developing really well.
And he's picking up back points. He handled Sauer last year in Las Vegas and trying to do it again. Sauer stepping in, replacing the injured Dustin Fox at Northwestern. Sauer 6th at the NCAAs last year, grabbing All-America honors for himself. But he's got to work from behind here as Dlagnev gets a couple in the opening minute 30 of the first period.
Tervel's really slick on his feet. He's got good low singles. He moves good. He's an athletic heavyweight. And he actually let Sauer go. You don't see that a lot in the heavyweight division. He's looking to move him more. Look how he pulls. Very good technique. Wow, what if they let him go again? He's going to try to put out technique. See, he's been training with Tom Rollins at Ohio State and with the Nebraska coach. He's been in Division I rooms training this summer and out at the Olympic Training Center. I'm really impressed so far. He's smoking.
And again, a lot of folks think that guys at the Division II, Division III ranks don't have the skills as Division I. This should prove this wrong. 4th at the senior men's freestyle U.S. Nationals this summer in Vegas. I mean, he can get it done against anyone.
Oh yeah, he's the real deal. He'll have a great chance to make the Olympic team 4 years from now. He's one of our most promising heavyweights. Good comeback by Sauer. I'll give him 2 here. Good reversal.
Sweet reversal for Sauer, who is not going to go down quietly here, and gets back within 2 in our most active first period of the night. A lot of time, the heavyweights, sometimes I don't see a lot of offense. These guys have been getting after it.
Good to see them going at it. Look at that nice reversal. He's up, he knocks him to his butt, he drives him back in bounds, gets his 2-point reversal. Now Sauer's a great story. He was at Fresno State originally, and Fresno sadly has stepped away from the program. The Pac-10, the wrestling keeps improving in high schools, and a couple of these programs are trying to cut and run, Fresno State, Oregon, and there's a big fight against this. And the ADs have made some poor decisions at these schools, and the wrestling community and sports community is working to save these programs at Fresno and Oregon State. And Sauer had to leave Fresno State, and he shows that he can wrestle with the big boys. He's ranked 3rd in the country here for Cal.
Final couple of seconds. Dlagnev with the point for the escape. 7-4 at the end of 1, and obviously Ken with Cole Conrad, 2-time NCAA champ, 76 straight wins gone. This weight class now this year is wide open.
Indeed it is. I mean, Dustin Fox is by far stretch of imagination no sure thing. He was ranked 1st for Northwestern. I mentioned earlier, Bill Scher's got that nice stable of big guys there, but this is wide open. And Tervel's not going to compete in the Division I Nationals, so Sauer very well could be up against Fox in the finals. There's a lot of opportunities there for guys to come out of nowhere and make some names for themselves.
Tervel catching a little breather. His headgear has broken, so they're trying to find him a spare set, and he'll make the adjustments.
He's a really dynamic wrestler. He moves great for a heavyweight. when he teaches wrestling, he really brings out some good points. The stuff he's doing by snapping the head and pulling the wrist, that's the kind of stuff he teaches at camps when I see him demonstrate, and he's just so good at moving people. Too many heavyweights stand around, not Tervel. Well, he's slick.
And he's a loper, and that's a good thing. Loper, the nickname at UNK for the Antelope, and he's certainly not a loper on the mat. He is an aggressor. Right now, Sauer, though, on top here to start the second.
Wow, showing a weakness, though. This is good. Sauer's good with legs. He's doing a nice job. Nice swim out. You hear the crowd. The crowd's, whoa, the heavyweight slicks him with a swim out.
Well, 2 on the reversal there for Dlagnev. Now Sauer picks up a point for the escape, so it's 9-5. And this already, not even halfway through the second period, is already our highest scoring bout of the evening.
Pretty neat to see the heavyweights going at it. Gotta love it. These guys are going to have to head back for the Thanksgiving holidays, get re-energized for a big push on training. The December training cycle is really important to get a lot of technique covered, to get some hard drilling and to set the tempo before you go home for Christmas holidays and what have you. So the next 3 weeks between Thanksgiving and Christmas are a critical training cycle where the coaches need to get a lot done with their athletes from a standpoint of technical development in the wrestling room, not just at the college level, but right across the country to all age groups. It's a big time to get a lot of technique across to your team.
As these guys duel here in this second period, kind of slowing down a little bit. We mentioned that Dlagnev and his UNK bunch certainly going to be a favorite in Division II. The Division I ranks, Minnesota, obviously with a lot of guys back, going to be a threat to win it all. Oklahoma State, John Smith certainly got a lot of young guys that he wants to get in the mix. So anybody else out there, in your opinion, on the horizon going to make a push this year? Iowa State, certainly with Cale Sanderson, looks loaded as well.
Yeah, you took that right out the tip of my tongue, Jay. See, you asked me a question and you answered it yourself. So no, I think those 3 teams are clearly a little better than everybody else. But, we'll see. We got to get the guys out there in the competition, see what develops. But certainly Iowa State, Oklahoma State, and Minnesota separate themselves a little bit. Michigan's got some good individuals, but I don't think they have the horsepower to go right across the board with everybody.
And we've seen some of those other programs, not in the power conferences, schools like a Hofstra making that move into the upper echelon as well. So some of those programs churning out top quality wrestlers on the individual level and teams as well.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting to see Hofstra making that move, and I got to give a shout out for Lou Ruggirello because I've seen him grow up at my camps and just he keeps getting better and better. At the winter camp we do where he comes and he's just been he's a year-round dedicated guy. He's into it. He's very physical. Not a freestyler, but a year-round folk-style wrestler that's always on the mats, always working to better himself during the holidays, during the off-season, and it's showing off. He keeps improving.
Speaking of freestyle, Wade Sauer spent some time at the University Games this summer. 8th in freestyle, 5th in Greco-Roman. So he's a guy that is working in different disciplines right now. Watches Dlagnev throw in another takedown, and he breaks into double digits, up 11-6.
Wow, he faked him out of his shoes there. That was slick. It's just, I see he's got a lot of Tommy rolls, and Tommy's one of the heavyweights that moves really good. Whereby Cole Conrad and Steve Mocco are 2 great heavyweights that tend to stand around. Tervel moves with a lot of agility and technique.
And we saw Cole throwing in a bunch of serious moves last year, but you get the point. Those guys are much more power aggressive at the heavyweight spot than these guys who seem to be a little bit lighter and a little more active.
Cole Conrad's a body lock guy, not a big slick leg attacker. This will be interesting to see if Tervel can step it up to that level, though. It takes competition day in, day out to get that level. You hear the chants in the background. The fans are yelling, "Save Oregon Wrestling." You can hear it. Throughout the night, they've been announcing the webpage, SaveOregonWrestling.com. They've been pushing it. You hear the crowd roaring.
You get the feeling that folks here in Eugene would like to see events of this magnitude here, and the program at the university stick around for more than just this season. But right now, Tervel, Dlagnev going to cap this 42nd annual NWCA All-Star Classic with the victory here over Wade Sauer. Great showcase for the Division II ranks and for the top stars in Division I, and for the cause of trying to keep Oregon wrestling around here in the future. We're back to wrap it up from Eugene. Final word from the All-Star Classic. Coming up in a moment here on CSTV.
The proud, the Marines.
Imagine that you give a laptop to a child, and that one child can come up with these great ideas. You give them the power to learn, the power to connect with all ideas around the world. Imagine the difference that we can make. Our goal is 1 laptop per child, and now you can help. Donate a laptop to a child in a developing nation and get one for the child in your life. Between November 12th and November 26th, you can help a child learn, help a child connect with the world, 1 laptop at a time.
Hear that? Sounds like the best sports are back on CSTV. All the training finally pays off when another exciting season of college sports begins. Football.
And into the end zone for a touchdown.
Soccer.
Beautiful cross and a finish.
Volleyball.
With an absolute missile to win it.
Hockey.
Rebound, they score!
And basketball.
And Jayson.
Get all your teams on all your screens with CSTV.
Final play of the game. You don't think you can score in this time frame.
They don't want to foul here. 10 seconds left. Down by 2. The drive.
Can anybody get open for it? Shot there.
She fires one up. Anthony Atkinson has tied it up.
He'll roll right. Left it go. And it goes in.
Good rebound. Gillespie at the buzzer. 4 seconds left. Melvin still away.
Find this guy. Touchdown. Scores in the final seconds.
BYU wins it. He's got time. Atkinson layup. Good.
The 2007 NWCA All-Star Classic is presented by the United States Marine Corps, the United States Marines, the few, the proud, the Marines. Back here at Mack Court in Eugene, Oregon, after a great night of college wrestling, the 42nd annual NWCA All-Star Classic presented by the United States Marine Corps. Some top-notch talent, some great wrestlers, all of them ranked in the top 4 in the nation in their respective weight classes, putting on a great exhibition here for the fans of the Pacific Northwest. For Ken Cherto, I'm Jayson. For the latest scores, news, highlights, and analysis, log on to CSTV.com. This has been a presentation of CSTV, the 24-hour college sports network from CBS Sports. So long from MacArthur Court, the 2007 NWCA All-Star Classic presented by the United States Marine Corps, and thanks for watching, everybody.
like Willery, but he's a dead bringer. He's a sports news bringer. He is a family man with the ring on his finger. He crushes Mad Jello from Greg to Limousiner. He's a sports news bringer. Plus he covers every sport from golf to phone hangers. St. Louis is his town, and he loves the Billy Kingers. He's a sports news bringer. You need a real fan and not some star clinger. You need a true expert, you need Am Singer.
CSTV. Word.